This is Wiley from Learn to Barbecue. This dynamic duo is about to change your griddling game. Totally off the grid, we'll be powering the Blackstone E-Series with the Jackery Explorer 1500 and tracking its performance in real time. So here is the test. We need to power the griddle for 1 whole hour. We will run the griddle at 500 degrees for 20 minutes. We will then track the time to see how long it takes to come to temperature. After 20 minutes, we will lower temperature to 375 degrees for both zones and monitor how stable the griddle holds that temperature. We will be taking a look every 5 minutes to see how this test is progressing. Jackery is on and showing 99% charged. Turn on griddle and set temperature to 500 degrees for both zones. This is pedal to the metal time, and we should see the Jackery pushing 1300 watts of power to the griddle. Looks like the Jackery is pushing 1344 watts. Now, let's see how quickly the griddle responds. At the 5-minute mark, the bar display shows the griddle to be about 3/4 of the way. At the 10-minute mark, the bar display is showing 1 orange bar for each zone. Based on the manual, the minute you see an orange bar, that means you are ready to cook or, at this temperature, sear. At the 15-minute mark, the griddle is smoking hot, and the Jackery still has 74% battery life. Pretty impressed with both the griddle and the Jackery. At the 20-minute mark, the Jackery battery life is at 66%. And the griddle has maintained 500 degrees with no fluctuation. It is now time to reduce temperature to 375 degrees for both zones. This test aims to ensure the griddle can maintain a medium temperature for the next 40 minutes without fluctuation. This is how most people will use this griddle. At 25 minutes, the griddle has stabilized at 375 degrees. Jackery battery life is at 62%. At the midpoint, 30 minutes, the Jackery is at 56% battery life, and the griddle is rock solid at 375 degrees. At the 35-minute mark, the Jackery battery life is at 52%. Looks like the Jackery will easily power the griddle for an hour or more. At 40 minutes, battery life is at 46%, and the griddle just stays right on temperature. 3/4 of the way through the test, and both Jackery and griddle are on cruise control. Battery life is 41%. 50 minutes into the test, the Jackery has 35% battery life, and the griddle, what can I say, is rock solid. At the 55-minute mark, I am glad to say both Jackery and Blackstone have great products. Battery life at 31%, and griddle just keeps cooking on temperature. At the 1-hour mark, here are the final remarks and conclusion. The first observation is the griddle took 10 minutes from room temperature to reach its top temperature of 500 degrees. That time is comparable to the Blackstone gas griddles. The second observation is the griddle does an exceptional job of holding temperature. When set at 375, the griddle held on to that temperature by responding quickly to any temperature change. The third observation is the Jackery did a great job of supplying every watt the griddle needed, without even working hard. Now the conclusion. This dynamic duo is a game changer for griddling freedom, catering to diverse culinary nomads like preppers, RVers, campers, and even apartment dwellers. For preppers, you can have true off-grid griddling. No propane, charcoal, or wood pellet worries. And its solar compatibility ensures endless refills from the sun. You will always be ready for any emergency. Hot meals even during power outages. The duo becomes a versatile power source for food and heat. For RVers and campers, you can unleash griddling anywhere. Campgrounds, scenic overlooks, and boondocking adventures. The electric duo unlocks griddling freedom. No hookups are needed. Then there is the space-saving efficiency. Ditch bulky and dangerous propane tanks and replace them with solar panels and have an endless supply of power and fuel. Apartment dwellers unite. You can now griddle on your balcony. Electric griddling without messy charcoal or fire restrictions. You also get precision control. Independent zone heating creates a Griddle master's playground for perfectly cooked meals, even on a small balcony. Till next time,